Hello and welcome to the Tech Capital and this exclusive video interview with Martin Murphy, recently appointed Chief Operations Officer of German data center operator Maincubes. Today, we will explore insights into the dynamic landscape of the data center industry in Europe and the initiative spearheaded by Maincubes, which is backed by digital infrastructure specialist DTCP and Art Invest Real Estate. And Martin, pleasure speaking to you again, and congratulations on the new role.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And nice to be chatting again, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, are you doing a bit of a career shift here, changing sceneries, changing countries? I mean, why was this the right time to do this? What was attractive about the Maincubes opportunity to you?
So I think lots of things for me, both, personally and professionally. I come from an engineering background, mechanical, electrical. I've spent time on the shop floor, as they call it. I've worked for enterprise organizations, leading their business in EMEA. I spent a long time at CBRE, growing a data center business, working with hyperscale enterprise colocation companies. I've started a startup consultancy, AMS Helix, and then ultimately, working at Salute, leading their business in EMEA. And I feel for me, it's the next logical challenge. I'm passionate about people, about technology, about data centers. I mean, I came across Maincubes. It was like the perfect fit. Even prior to any conversation starting, the best customer you ever wanted when you're selling services, into the data center market is a customer that wants value, that, believes in you. I met Maincubes, last year. It was an invite to come and talk about a problem statement, a partnership, and I just loved the way they went about the business. And it was always the kind of customer that I thought, if I was ever going to be a customer, that's the customer I'd want to be. So that started something that led on to other things, and then hearing about, Maincubes' ambitious kind of targets of places they want to go, how they want to build markets, sectors. It was just, I felt like it was something I couldn't say no to.
It is quite an interesting business because I mean it hasn't been around as long as some of the bigger boys in the industry, but it has two very interesting backers with DTCP, which only entered in 2022 with a small acquisition of a stake acquisition from Art, which is like I believe but then the regions within its operation, especially Germany. I mean, Germany is changing so much, and the fact that you're also investing in Berlin, which is one of the up and coming tier two markets that everyone is talking about. It's quite interesting. And I mean, Germany, data sovereignty laws, like Germany is synonym of laws, regulation almost. But that's very interesting. We'll talk about that as well in a second, especially how Maincube is addressing those. But to kind of paint a picture of what's happening in the market first, and then we can see where Maincubes fits into it. What would you say are the main challenges within the data centers space, within the industry in Central Europe?
In order of priority, or just splash them out?
You have a very long list.
Yeah. It's a long list. I think, power is the logical one, but I think sustainable power is probably, very closely associated with it. Labor resource is very underestimated. And then you have this whole slew of legislation, EED, CSRD, all the additional reporting requirements that are coming, as well as the kind of complex shift in design and build, to facilitate, global capacity for cloud and AI. So that was also part of the attraction, as part of the kind of first question you asked me, was just joining a company at this specific time where a market is kind of repositioning itself kind of for something new, and whilst navigating legislative challenges, moratoriums, power, sustainability, all of that stuff is just stacks up to what looks like a nice challenge. But I think overall, power hasn't gone away at all. And as I said, finding the right plots and being able to design sustainably for the different applications that are, coming at the EMEA market.
So especially the AI workloads, which is in everyone's mind now. I mean, what's your view of AI? Do you think this is a bubble? Is this something to be really excited about, and there's really palpable, tangible
I
reaching
mean,
that we can conclude,
you know,
or
10 months ago, I thought AI was like ChatGPT, right? And every single day I learn something new about what AI is delivering, whether it's for, law firms, whether it's for, logistics, whether it's for manufacturing. It's not going away, that's for sure. I mean, I'm wholly excited about what AI can do for data center operations as well. We have, the world has progressed, and yet data center operations have virtually stood still. We still put people in data centers. We don't trust technology or systems. We have engineers walking campuses, taking readings that really technology could do that for us. So I'm really hoping there's a real shift in how we can turn some of the magic that the data center produces into how we operate a data center today.
Yeah, I was actually having this conversation yesterday at an event here in Paris about how that has actually been one of the hinges of even the large scale deployment of edge. The fact that you need so many sites and you can't have enough staff to go over every single site, you will need technologies like this. But we've just not been very quick at adopting them yet. But even within a larger data center, you will need all the nodes and the little readers within the servers to tell you what's going to go off and what's not going to go off and batteries as well to make sure everything gets replaced
Yeah,
in time, even before it breaks.
correct. I think today we largely operate, in terms of operations, as engineers responding to things that have failed. Whereas we want to get to a place where engineers are responding to early notifications of things that are going to fail. One of the things that I've been passionate about for years is bringing more technology. And imagine, plant room sensors that have got noise, vibration, humidity, temperature, and they can also learn their environment. So they know when duty pumps change over every second day, and the parameters of that noise, even to the hum of a UPS module. I mean, that's really utilizing technology and also utilizing engineers at what they're great at, right? Is responding to systems that are, in danger of failing, where we can then have engineers earning their money, and doing the things that we need to with the resilience that sites have today.
It's definitely going to enhance a lot of the roles within the data center hold this new AI world. But I was going to ask, so how, and picking up on AI as well, how is AI kind of changing Maincubes? How is it changing? I mean, I know you've just started, but you would have had some briefings, so you're going to know how people at the company are thinking about AI. How has that kind of changed the scope of the business, the expansion? Like how has it portrayed itself as a growth opportunity, even within the landscape that you're building?
Yeah, I think everyone at Maincubes is excited by it, and the investor team as well. I think that there's a real desire to internationalize the business. The designs that are on the table, all feature, very flexible power cooling requirements that, these new players or new technologies need. We're trying to deliver, a very sound, sustainable design. We're looking at, I think in terms of number of sites, I won't talk about the number, but there's a real excitement within the business that it's just going to grow, and we're going to capitalize. I think Maincubes have been around for a fairly long time in terms of data center operators. They've got deep knowledge of the German market, of the Dutch market. They've got a fantastic team in place today who are all hugely excited about, one, the injection of capital and opportunity to grow. And when you're in a growing business, especially in this industry, it just creates an energy in itself for the people around it. Because, you know, as much as it's all about AI and technology, it's really about people. It's about the people that, you know, do designs, about the people that build. It's about, you know, the people that make the deals, and it's the people that operate the data center. So for me, that's the attraction of being able to join an already, you know, really great team that are hugely excited about what's around the corner and what's next for Maincubes.
Interesting. And I mean, you already mentioned some of the markets they are in. So Amsterdam, Berlin, Frankfurt. I mean, in Frankfurt, you've had recently announced FRA03 and 04. So two new buildings. What's been the development within those three markets? Two of them being flat D as well. Two of the largest markets in Europe and two of the largest markets in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Frankfurt was the largest growth flat market in 2023, and I think Berlin is, you know, the highest kind of outside of that in the tier two. So uh, there's lots of activity going on, both in terms of build and acquisition of land for kind of what's next. But I think, you know, Frankfurt 3 and 4, Berlin 1 and 2 are really kind of the first elements of real growth and breathing out. And I don't think it's a pivot. I think pivot's probably the wrong word, but I think it's a natural progression, expansion into adjacent, being able to absorb adjacent technologies like, you know, global cloud and AI capacity.
Okay. Are there any new pins that are going to come into the map at some point that you can tell us about, or it's all being kept in the secret?
I've just recently signed my NDA, so I need to understand fully what I can talk about. But you know, what I can say is there's a huge ambition to internationalize the business, to grow, and I'm, you know, exceptionally proud and excited that I'm going to get the chance to be part of that.
Okay. And in terms, without wanting to break your NDA, in terms of targeting regions for clients, new clients, grow business, are you looking just within Europe, or are you looking at other regions as well to bringing in clients? So like Asia, for example, because I mean, Central and Eastern Europe have been growing over the last few years in attracting Asian customers, for example.
They haven't told me everything yet, so nobody's
Okay.
had a discussion about Asia, but I have seen that Maincubes are attending the next data center event in Singapore, so maybe I should read into that something more. But I think for now, it's expansion within Europe.
Okay, cool. And then, I mean, speaking of operations, then let's move on to operation on the operational side. Sustainability, you've already mentioned the topic. It's a huge top thing within the industry right now. How is Maincubes adapting the facilities to be as green as possible? What measures are in place? And as you grow the footprint as well, especially in the AI context, how is sustainability going to weight in the decision making? What's going to be put on the ground? To ensure that this is as green as possible and not just a green logo, because you do have a green logo, but
Yeah, no, we do have a green
it goes
logo.
beyond the green logo.
Yeah, no, it does. I think there's probably some things I got to learn about, you know, the design elements of how we plan to absolutely nail the sustainability aspect of building, you know, efficiently and green. In terms of operations, I think Maincubes have already started procuring, you know, production capacity of, you know, green energy, dedicated, you know, power purchase agreements to ensure that, you know, the ongoing operation, which is generally, you know, the bigger part of the data center. One thing is building them, it's another thing operating them for the next 10, 15 years, right? And I think, you know, green energy kind of production capacity, direct to site, as well as, you know, really leveraging technology for operations is really going to help play into, you know, being one of the leaders in, you know, sustainable build and operations.
Okay. I mean, you mentioned PPAs. I was actually going to ask you about industry partnerships and who's coming to the table with you to help deliver the facilities. I mean, maybe we can split this into the technology side and then the power side. How is Maincubes working with the other companies within the sector? Why the sector, sorry, to deliver all this?
Yeah, so I don't have all the answers to that just now. I think, you know, I haven't been privy to, the partnerships that Maincubes have had previously. I know some of the partners that we're looking at now, but I think as we look to go from, the traditional Maincubes business, which is satisfied, enterprise, kind of retail colo, and maybe some sovereign customers in the country, there's obviously a very big change that needs to happen in terms of the scale of the build and the partnerships required. But as I said earlier, I think when you do business, I think it's people doing business with people that brings value to both organizations. And as long as the outcomes are sustainable, efficient, then I look forward to re-engaging with lots of partners, within the industry, and really finding out, what Maincubes have been doing, over the past 12 months to ensure that pivot from, where they've been to, the data center of tomorrow is all in place.
Okay. If you look into the future, into 12 months' time, what's one thing that you will want to have accomplished in your new role? And I know you're just starting, but
Oh, tough
what's the goal?
question. I mean, I'm joining a great team, a great CEO, who co-founded the business and has built it up. I was asked that question in a town hall recently by one of the engineers, and I think initially there's a lot of listening and understanding of the people in the business where they are. Uh, I want to create leaders, right? I've had the privilege in my career of, over the last 20 years of mostly working with companies that have got, fast paced growth and building organizations, being able to promote people. So I think you're the sum of your team, right? Create a good environment, a good culture, empower people, and the business will take care of itself, right? So I think if I look in 12 months' time, to look back, if I've created a team of empowered leaders, I'll have done something right. There's obviously some other requirements from the
Yeah,
investors and my new CEO, but
just
uh,
minor details.
and inject more technology into operations than there is today. I think
Okay.
that's a good start.
So, but it's safe to say there'll be some career expansion within the group. There'll be new ranks created. There'll be new talent coming in. That's part of the plan.
That's part of the plan, and that's part of me joining as well. I bring some international experience, with lots of different operators. But part of the attraction for me at this point in time was a company that's going through significant growth, which allows the team to grow, to build, to hire new people. I think you'll understand you can't go to the market every time you need a new role within the business, right? You've got to, bring people up through it. So investing in the people that are there and bringing the right people in at the right levels is going to be a big part of it. Resource, remains a challenge. So, retaining staff, making sure their development career plans, match both employee and employer, that we can make people the best they can be. So that was one of the attractions in terms of the journey that Maincubes are on just now.
Okay. And then last question. So, as an engineer at heart and an operations person, what's the most exciting thing that you see in the market right now? Not related to Maincubes, not related to any operators, just something you're excited about in this day and age, especially with AI. I mean,
So
what's
I
thing?
think it's technology and it's AI and it's being able
Mm,
to combine them. I'd love to say uh, an autonomous data center is nearly within our grasp. We'll always need people, right? We'll always need people to
mm,
respond to things and all the other stuff. But I think it's been in a company that values the people, the technology, embracing growth, the investments there for it, and being able to knit those things together, specifically people and technology, to provide a better outcome for our clients. Right? That's what it's all about.
Going to be definitely interesting. Yeah, I can't wait to start seeing the digital twin data center coming into fruition to put a lot of this into practice. But Martin Murphy, COO of Maincubes, thanks so much for talking to me. As for your home, thank you for watching, and do check our website and give us a follow on social media for more breaking and timely news from across the digital infrastructure sector worldwide. At the Tech Capital, you lead, we report. Bye for now.